Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chats. Marvellous Monday. Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are. If you think it's Get Rich Quick, you're in the wrong place. This is the wrong podcast. This is the wrong live for you. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Hope you're all awesome and well.
Well, good morning, everybody. Hope you are doing well for Friday. It's Friday. So excited. Cannot wait for the weekend. It's me again, Brad, your host for Finance Fridays on Wealth Coffee Chat. So thank you for coming aboard. We've got an interesting topic to talk about today, and I just want you guys to dive in, listen up. We got a special co-host with me today, and we're just going to talk about something that I think is really getting more and more relevant as time goes on, especially with the interest rates being so high and people not wanting to just be stuck and locked in a mortgage. So today what I want to talk about with my co-host, I'll introduce him in a second, is how do we live our best life without being stuck to a mortgage? And it seems like it's a little bit of a reality of life, right? You want to buy a house, you're going to get stuck with a 30-year mortgage, and unfortunately, you just get glued. I mean, there's this saying that once you get a mortgage, you're a slave to the lender. And sometimes that is the actual reality. You're working just to pay where you live. And life shouldn't be like that. Should be something more. And what I want to do is introduce my co-host today. It's a special treat. Been able to harangue him in because he is a bit of a unique bird in our hen house, I guess, as you might want to call it, as we grow. At Positive Money, we are focused on a solution, strategies for our clients. We've got a wealth of knowledge all across the board. But one thing we try to do is allow our loan writers, our lending specialists, our mortgage brokers to pick something that they're really interested in, that they're passionate about. And without further ado, I want to introduce my co-host today, and his name is Durridge. Hi, Durridge. How you going, man?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
So, Durridge, what do you do at Positive Money? Give us a little bit of an understanding of what you do.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'll do a lot of things. I'm a mortgage broker at the background, but I help my clients pay off the home loan fast. So if you are signed up for a 30-year mortgage, I help you pay off in 6, 8, 10, 12 years, depending upon your situation, and help you generate wealth. So that's what I do in summary.
6, 8, 10 years. So not a 30-year mortgage.
No,
actually less than. Okay. That's unique. Why did you pick if I can ask, why did you pick this specific lending area to help clients? Is there a story behind it? Tell me about it. Why you decided to jump into this specific area of our business?
Sure. And before I answer that, Brad, you mentioned that, when you take a mortgage, you are a slave to the lender. And the word
Yeah.
mortgage actually means debt pledge. So that's what you're doing. You're actually living, working to pay off your mortgage to the bank, your hard-earned money. So that's what I want to break the cycle. And I've been doing it for many years now. It all started when I started investing and bought my property about 25 years ago. I didn't want it to pay like thousands and thousands of dollars to the bank, which is my hard-earned money, which I want to get it back to my family, my kids, my life, for like things I like to do. So I was trying to work out some strategies. I was speaking with a lot of people and a lot of mentors. So that's what I learned, and I moved to finance about 10 years ago. So that's what I started doing when I was a broker, was a banker. I specialize now in helping my clients to pay off their home loan faster. And I'm passionate about it because, and the banks will hate me for that. I know that, but why should we be paying that kind of money to the bank when it should be going back into your pocket? You deserve that, right? And that's what I'm passionate about, helping my clients save the money in interest. Yeah.
It's interesting. I just want to recap on some of the things. But before I do that, George, I just want to say hello to a few people that have joined us, if that's all right. Good morning, Kevin. Morning, Chris. Morning, Jeff. Shaza. Sharon, love that you're here. Allison, long time no speak. I appreciate you guys joining today. I know some of you are like Kevin in Florida, so time zones, good on you. Appreciate you joining in for today. But George, I just want to recap on a few things that you said, and that spoke for me. Is first, the word mortgage means death pledge. So like, okay, slave to the lender, death pledge makes sense. I don't want to do it. And I'm sure the banks would hate you for knowing these secrets. But the passion behind it, I think, is what piques me more than anything. Is you've experienced it, you've lived it, and you've been able to help clients do it. Because you know what? We don't get this education in school. I mean, you and I both aren't originally from Australia, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm from Las Vegas. And George, where are you from originally?
Originally India. Yeah.
India. Maybe in India they have a little bit better education system than what I experienced, but
Not really.
we're not
in terms
told
of
about
finance,
all
no.
these little. Yeah, we're not told
Yeah.
about it. And I'm not sure. Do you have any instances where clients have said the same thing? Have you had any of those experiences?
All the time, Brad. All the time. I was speaking to a client about a year ago, and that client is a math school teacher in high school.
Yeah.
Right. So they say we teach calculus, we teach algebra, trigonometry. Where is going to help us? Yeah, if you want to be a school teacher, might be, or an engineer. But there's
Parents, I
no.
apologize. I know your
Yeah.
kids want to know all about geometry, calculus, but you and I probably both know most of us don't ever use that. Sorry, carry on. I had to interrupt that.
But what there is, I believe there should be an education around, how you manage your money, how you very basic, starting from when you are, starting to earn, how to save money, how to use that money to grow your wealth, right? And then obviously talking about interest rates, mortgages, not going into too much detail, but there should be some basic knowledge. I speak to a lot of people, they don't know how to calculate their LVR, basic percentage, what sort of interest rates. The client I was speaking to had a $1 million mortgage, but they didn't know how much interest they were paying. They don't know how to calculate interest or how it's even calculated. So yeah, so there is this a dearth of education which needs to be reformed some way, I personally feel.
Part of my inner conspiracy theorist is like, well, the banks have told the education system and the government, let's just teach things that we probably will never use. So that we can keep people in their death pledges and in their slave to the lending. And it's hard though, because I mean, I don't want to put it from like a corporate level, like down with the corporate Australia. I was going to say America, but that's just something that you say. But it's just like there's human stories behind this. There's actually people that are working so hard to have that Australian dream. I'm gonna get emotional, but it's just like they work so hard day in and day out, going to these jobs that probably don't even think twice about them so that they can provide for their families. And then to hit it up even more, what you end up doing is you're getting a mortgage. I mean, the average mortgage in Australia is around 560. I mean, but let's be honest, in remote areas, it's becoming more and more the norm. But you end up paying almost 2, 3 times the amount of what your loan is originally. And it's just like, why? What are you doing with it? Because it's there's a human aspect behind it. And I'm sorry again if I'm getting emotional. There's real stories behind this. And I mean, you're doing this, Draj. You're a debt reduction specialist here at Positive Money. I mean, what are the stories you've heard that's touched you? Maybe it's your own story. Like, let me know.
Yeah, like I said, when I was starting, I started investing at 25 and I realized I'm going to be paying mortgage for 30 years. I'll be 55. So how am I going to invest? So that's the reason I started working on that and implementing and learning a lot about that. And a client I helped nearly about 8-9 years ago. That was when I initially started my finance career. And I was speaking to them about 6 months ago, I remember. So initially, when we set the strategy for them, they would have paid off the home loan in about 11 years instead of 30 years. And 6 months ago, what they told me was that they have paid off the home entirely. And they have bought a couple of investments along the line. And now they're implementing that strategy on their investments as well. So these kind of things, which I love to do, really helps me and really motivates me to help my clients, One client, another example I want to share is about a year ago, a client in the mid-30s had a 1.2 million mortgage, right? They bought a 1.5 million home in Sydney. And their repayments would have been an additional 1.6 million of interest alone. So that's 1.2 obviously is the principal they have to pay, an additional 1.6 million interest. That's mind-boggling. And we worked the numbers for them and we put the strategy, it will save them just over $800,000. $800,000 back into their pocket. And that too without extra repayments, changing in their lifestyle. So that's the beauty of what we teach, what we preach, and love to do here at Positive Money.
Yeah. Don't get too much into the details. We're going to talk about that in just a sec. I just want to regroup on some of the things as well, because like you and I were chatting earlier, and appreciate the open and honesty that we had before we started our podcast today. It's about that story, that relatability, right? And we're able to actually save a lot of clients thousands of dollars. And it's not like it's rocket science, guys. I call it the personal training of finance because the information's out there. We can go in there, do some YouTube searches, but when it comes down to doing it, not too many people are. And in PRE, we're all about the education. So probably a good majority of the people listening today are like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I trust PRE. We've been doing it. And I'm saying, good. Thank you for trusting us and journeying with us. But there's a whole group of population. And for me, I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm a socialist or whatever you want to call it. I want everybody to have that equity where they actually have this knowledge to impact their lives. And some of the stories that from hearing from you and then from hearing from some of our other team members that we've been able to help is just coming out of bad situations and just not knowing anything about finance. We get this education of calculus and trying to figure out, okay, well, how am I going to relate that into my everyday life? But, I'm working a 9-to-5 job. Maybe I am a single mother of 2 or a single parent. I mean, these days and age, it's not just now isolated to the mom. It's both parents. Sometimes it's being a single parent and raising a kid and going to work full time and making sure there's clothes on their back, food's in their belly, and a roof over their head. I mean, it's the basics, the basic human needs. I mean, there's so many different, we need to have nourishment, but we need to feel understood and loved and cared for. It's not just give us food, give us a roof over our head. It's the emotional connection and the aspects that as parents, we're working so hard doing a 9-to-5 job only to pay the mortgage, taking time away from our family. And what I'm hearing with these stories is maybe that's a short-term option in that 6 to 8 year mark instead of the 30-year mark that we've been told that we've got to do our loan terms. And again, I'm getting emotional. I just need to stop. Literally, like maybe I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today, or maybe the right one. I don't know. I'm tapping into my empathy here. It can't be like this anymore. There has to be a solution. There has to be a way forward. There has to be something out there that works. And PRE, We've got a track record for it. Durridge,
Yeah.
you've got a track record for it. So give us a little bit of the details. What's the secret? What's the secret sauce on it? Tell us. What do you do to help clients? What is it? What are the tools that you use?
Well, just before I delve into that, just a quick share I want to have it, and that's coming from what you just shared right now. It's making me emotional as well. I was speaking to a client last week on a Zoom call, a single mom, divorced, 2 young kids, struggling with a lot of debt, right? And she had to switch off her camera because she said that she was in tears and she didn't want me to see her in that way. So we worked out her numbers. We did the whole thing, and I could save her paying off mortgage in about 12 years instead of 28 years. And then what she did was, at the end, she switched on her camera and say, "I still have tears, but those are happy tears I want to see." So that's something really, really motivates you and moves you, you know.
Gosh, I'm starting it already.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
And coming back to the question, so Brad, it's not one strategy or 1 or 2 things I can tell you, okay, Brad, go and implement this. So what we do is we do a full financial review. We look at your picture, your situation in a very holistic way, in a very detailed way. Make sure we have some quick wins, and then we have a few, like maybe around 10 strategies you can say, and out of that 5 may work for you, 5 might not work for you. And the way I put it is, it's like a lot of moving parts, like an engine. But when all start moving in the same direction, that's when you start to see results. So I can't just go out like, okay, this is go and do this will work for you, because I don't know anybody's individual situation. So for that, it's best to have a one-to-one, and then I can look into your situation and guide you accordingly.
So it is a tailor-made, unique program.
Absolutely.
That you have to do a deep dive in, and I know I said it a little bit earlier. It's the personal training of finance, and you sometimes need that accountability.
Yeah.
And that's okay. First off, it's an educational aspect, and what I learned when I did personal training, which probably should give a call to my personal trainer. I've been sitting on my couch a little bit, maybe too long, but you learn things, you pick up stuff, so that it's not just ignorance anymore. It's I know something. I can actually do this now. And you're not doing it alone. You're getting the education. We do, correct me if I'm wrong, we're doing monthly training on just the bare basics of finance, right?
Yeah.
We're doing that. We've got a Facebook group that's kind of coming together, and we're growing it. And pretty exciting times right now, Durridge. And I'm so glad to have you on board with us. I'm so glad that this is something you're passionate about, and that you're finding some success, and that you're actually getting out there, not just reducing the amount of interest of someone's bank of their mortgage, but changing their lives.
That's exactly what I was looking for, changing lives, you know. Yeah.
Changing lives, right? I mean, there's that saying here at Positive Real Estate, PRE and Positive Money, People, Place, Planet. We were driven by purpose, and it's not just that individual wealth. It's finding our innate genius and helping those find theirs, so that they can have a financial, how do I put it? Financial freedom, that they can transform their future.
Yeah.
That they're not stuck to having a 30-year mortgage term. That there's a tomorrow, that it's not 30 years from now. It's maybe not so far off. Yeah. Durridge, thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you. Appreciate you sharing your knowledge. And team, just before we go, what I just want to ask you guys, if this is something that is unique for you and you want to have a conversation about, okay, well, what does that look like? Is that something I'm interested in? We're here. You see our scrolling email at the bottom, and maybe you want to have a conversation with me. There's my QR code up in the corner over there. Have a look. Give me a call. If you want to meet with Durridge, just shoot me an email at finance@positivemoney.com.au, and let's have a chat. Let's find out, well, does your tomorrow need to be 30 years from now, or is it maybe not so far off in the near future? Well, folks, if you liked what we talked about today, please share it. Tell your friends, tell your family, like, subscribe, and have an amazing weekend. Have an amazing Friday, and catch you next week. Bye.
Episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6 Star team here at positivementor.com.au.